So we're working on the outside of the Dodger, applying some tape, and we'll put a big piece of paper over this and use that to hold the shape of the window while we remove the old window. And we'll peel all this off later. If you peel back at a sharp angle, that basting tape comes off. And we're peeling back all the tape, and we'll apply this roll of paper. Here it is with the paper applied to the outside. Now we're going to flip it over and cut out the stitches for the window. Cautiously stripping out the 2 layers of stitching on the inside. So paper's holding on the other side, and then we just carefully remove the vinyl from the inside after we've stripped off all the stitching. Paper on the outside keeps its shape. It's just the leftover stitching he's trying to get through. Sometimes you have to cut through the vinyl underneath. Sometimes they put a big piece of vinyl that sticks down a lot further, which we've done. So in this case, the whole piece is coming out, even though it extends downward an inch or 2 into the base. It's very careful around the zippers. We got 2 stitches here that were okay, and then 2 we pulled out. So we have the whole piece stripped out. The shape is still held by the paper underneath, and we're going to trace that piece of plastic exactly on our new roll and cut right inside the line so we end up with the pieces exactly the same. And before we put it in there, we're going to put down tape here and leave the backing on it. And then we'll put down tape on this side too. And then we'll peel the backing out after we get the plastic window in between there and in place. And we'll stick it down on both sides and sew through it. I have to spend some time getting rid of a lot of the old thread that you cut through. So our thumbnail seems to work pretty good, at least on the inside.
No? Wait a minute, vagabond.
Replacement piece of vinyl is cut exactly to size. And over here, now it's time to run the tape that we're going to use to assemble this back together with. So the paper is attached to the outside. We're going to put tape along the inside here, all the way around. Leave the plastic cover on the inside of the tape until after we get the plastic sheet inside. So there'll be tape here and tape there, and then we fold it over and we pull the release material out and stick it all together and then sew it again. So Bob's placing the double-sided tape on the inside here. And we'll also put a piece on the outside and get the plastic in between them before we peel it out and stick it down. Okay, so we've got material on both sides and the vinyl's in place. And we're just going to hold it down and then strip the adhesive backing off and glue this whole side in place. Then we'll flip it over and take the old paper off and do the other side. So we've peeled off the paper and we've got the inside glued down here now. And we're going to flip it over and tear off that sheet that held everything in place and then pull out the adhesive release from after that. All right, so we flipped it back over and we've got the one side already taped in. We're just going to start peeling, but you want to peel back at like a really flat angle in order for that stuff to release. Sometimes what we do is we cut it along the edge and we create strips, and we tear it and just tear out the middle. So that we can pull this piece back around this way and the bias tape comes off. Then we got the paper off, but we applied bias earlier on the inside. So we're going to peel that back, and when you put it down, you want to line up the two pieces because you're going to sew through them. Now, after we've stuck it back down, you can go back and pull the old stitching out. Clean it up before you sew it again. So there's bias tape underneath here, and then there's bias tape on this side too, holding it all together. Okay, so you have to make sure that this piece lines up really well. You don't want it to be like that. You want it to line up. Once it lines up, then you can peel the paper out. I'm going to hold it there and I'll back up. How long have we been working on this one piece?
Almost 2.5 hours.
2 hours. So we stuck down a piece of paper over the top with the tape, then we flipped it over and we stripped out all of the stitching, cleaned out all the stitching we could, and then we took the piece of plastic we had and we traced it on the big piece and cut it out. And then we had to add tape inside and outside. And then we had to get the plastic piece taped in there and then stick it all down, and we got to get all this old stitching out. Yeah, so it's a big job to return it to its original rather than just sew a piece of plastic on the inside. But it looks a lot better, and so we're happy with how it's coming out. Now it's stitching time.